A wife's primary duty is to serve her husband.
I believe that as just a person, as a woman in general, my first priority is to God and being obedient to Him. But being a wife, I believe being a submissive wife and loving your husband as we have been asked to by God, I believe that that's the foundational purpose of being a wife and then in turn leading your children. When I first got married at 18. I feel like in my role as a wife, I have learned that in order for me to be a good mother, in order for me to be good in our marriage, I am putting him first and I am serving him, and that's my priority.
It's crazy how this type of woman's not the norm anymore. Back in time, not so far long ago too, this was the normal type of woman. But now we have the modern woman.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree. I got married at 21 years old. I was never really like the, independent woman. I grew up with a single mother. And when I first met my husband, we were 14 years old. And instantly I was like, this is the man that I want to marry. And it really made me dive into being a godly wife. So you touched on that a little bit. And I 100% agree that when you're serving your husband, you have to also serve God. And if you do not have that kind of relationship with your husband that you do with God, then it's going to kind of lead down the path of like, I'm me and I care about myself and he's going to care about himself, instead of making those.
He's actually right, A relationship that's intertwined with religion and God. There's a better, stronger foundation there, There's a level of accountability that you have because you're accountable to God, the higher purpose, a higher power. So it would definitely be harder for you guys to break up. It'd be like breaking up with God itself, right?
Those sacrifices for each other. So I definitely, for myself, I try to put him above all. Obviously, I do take care of myself. It's not like I'm just like, oh yeah, like she can just go down the drain. It's a give and take. So I fully am there for my husband, and whatever he needs me to do is something that I look forward to doing for him, because whatever you give, you will receive. So I try to be the best wife that I can be to him so that he can be the best husband that he can be to me. Yeah.
And have the disagreeer step forward.
Yeah.
Do you see the difference between the agree and disagree? It's the look. It's a certain feel that they give off.
So does it go both ways? Is it just I should serve my husband, not my husband should serve me as well?
You see, she's automatically looking to get something. That's what happens when you don't believe in God. It's just automatically it's me.
So in our view, and as I believe Christians should have that view, is your husband is supposed to love you as Christ loved the church. And that actually is a bigger task than wives submit to your husband. So in turn, I'm submitting to him, but he is actually supposed to be obedient to God, which means he's supposed to love me as much. And if he loves me as much as Christ loves the church, then it's going to be a mutual relationship.
Exactly, So since the husband loves God and he worships God and he is going to listen to his teachings, he wouldn't mistreat his wife, because one of God's orders is treat your wife good, So that's another reason why women should look for men that have faith, because they will not dishonor God, so they won't dishonor you, essentially.
If we're going to have mutual conversations, mutual decisions be made, it's not that he's ruling over me, he's telling me what to do and taking charge of everything. It's that he loves me enough to care for me as he should, I think, as any husband should for his wife.
Yeah, 100%. I think that a big misconception with submitting to your husband is that I submit to him and he has the final say and he does whatever he wants and I don't have a say. It's more of like, okay, I'm going to come to you with my opinions and these are the ideas that I have. And at the end of the day, he will decide on the ideas, but I do have that say. I can go to him and I say, okay, well, I think that we should move to Thailand. and he's going to decide if that's a good idea for us or not. It's not like he comes in the house and he's like, yeah, we're moving. Let's go.
Yeah, a good man will listen. A good man will, counsel with his wife and take her suggestions, but ultimately it should come down to the man's say, right? That's all it is. But we do take your suggestions.
Go. Pack up
Why
your
does he get to decide?
That's what I was wondering.
Because leadership is a service.
Because he's a better leader and he's more logical.
So the service he provides is his leadership. And if you've ever been in a leadership position, then you'll know that it's actually an immense weight to carry, to lead people and just carry that final responsibility. And as a servant leader, you have their best in mind when you are leading people. So that's the service that he provides.
Is there
and
a
it's
line?
actually, well, I guess that's a great question. It depends on how you would define submission, being a trad wife. So as a Christian, I would say there's definitely a line. My first priority is to God, and my husband can't cause me to do anything that would jeopardize that. And he can't treat me in a way that's dishonorable or not generous. So
I think in my partnership with my husband, it really does feel like a partnership. And so I disagree in the sense that for us, major life decisions, even day-to-day decisions, there is negotiation between the two of us. Oftentimes, I will win most negotiations.
Why would you be happy that you're bullying your husband? It's you're just pretty much showing that he's a weak man.
Sometimes as well, but there is a foundation of trust, communication, leadership. But I think for us, our marriage functions more like a partnership where, I guess mutual.
I'm pretty sure he's in this relationship where he's walking on eggshells. He's essentially just telling her, yeah, sure. But in his heart, he wants to put his foot down, but he can't because she might use sex for compliance, or, he might have to sleep on the couch, or the silent treatment. So he just doesn't want to go through something like that. So he'll just agree,
Trust and negotiation comes into play a lot more than, we're doing this and that's how we're doing it. So.
And do you guys believe that the man or the husband should be a leader just because he is the male, or is it because he displays certain leadership qualities? Could it be the other way around if the woman?
Well, some certain men are not smart or leaders, but it's up to the woman to identify if this man is worthy enough for her to be led by him. You just got to choose a good leader. You got to scan him from head to toe and just analyze, could this guy lead me to the promised land?
Was somebody who would fit better into the role of a leader?
no, it's built in. It's like baked in biology. So hormonally, men's.
No, I don't agree with that.
How so?
Sure, you can say that there are biological.
See, she said that she didn't agree, but now she's pretty much saying she agrees with the biology part. See, that's why men have to be leaders, because her first response was emotion. You can't lead by emotion like that.
Logical difference between a man and a woman, but that doesn't make. I get so upset because why are men inherently
Triggered.
born deserving respect, but we have to earn all of our respect?
We're not born with respect. We have to earn it. Everybody has to earn the respect. She thinks that it should just be given, but no, you have to earn all respect in this life.
Right? There's no biology that says
Because
you
of
deserve-
feminism. We have to earn it because of feminism, where we made ourselves compete with men rather than relaxing into our feminine maternal
Exactly. You wanted to be equal. This is it.
role
Feminism
where we
isn't
don't have
competing
to
with men.
earn.
Yeah, what do you think feminism is? I'm just curious.
Of course it is. It's the leveling of the playing ground for the two genders.
Yes.
Well, I would go by the definitions of the first wave feminist who sought to overthrow the family. And
That's what they sought to do.
I don't think that's
so
true.
who would you say were like the first wave?
Well, feminism, the typical definition is social, political, and economic equality between the sexes. I don't think anything in that definition is saying we should overthrow the family or that we don't believe in loving marriages or partnerships. But when you say these biological differences between men and women make men better suited to be a leader, which ones? And
Okay.
where's like your basis for that?
Uh,
Like what skills?
Men are larger, they're stronger. Hormonally, men produce more vasopressin, which is the hormone that makes them better protectors and providers. They're able to just respond better to threats, whereas women produce more oxytocin. We're smaller, we're more vulnerable, we're the fairer sex. The oxytocin is a trust and bonding hormone that we're supposed to use to take care of those weaker than us, like children, like the sick, the poor, the elderly. When we channel that, that the way that God made us, then those people are actually under our authority as women. We have the responsibility to care for them, just like men have the responsibility to use their strength to care for us.
I think what's standing out to me is that these biological differences that you're noting is actually something that feminism is seeking to actually support, because true feminism at its core is about the safety and equity for women in society, so that women cannot just, it's not about dismantling the family.
What does she mean by the safety? Like, this is 2025. Women are the safest ever in history, especially in North America. I don't know about other third world settings, but North America set up maximum safety for women. We got police, we got the fire departments, we got the air conditioning. We have everything to keep them comfortable and safe. What is she talking about?
It's about creating agency for women to choose their lives, not based on whatever your personal beliefs are or the beliefs that are outlined by society, but whatever path that they have chosen for themselves. That's at the true core of feminism.
Yeah.
It's not about women being better or stronger or the same as men. It's about women being safe in this world.
No, it's about being equal to men.
In a world where the patriarchy threatens women's safety and agency.
Sorry.
Whoa, how does the patriarchy threaten your safety? We keep you safe. Without good men, bad men would take you guys over. They would have their way with you. We are the safety.
Can I ask
Yeah.
how are you threatened?
How am I threatened?
Yeah.
So I'll tie it back to the biological differences that you noted.
I gotta hear this.
There's a reality that women face, both biologically, which we all can, all of us here can understand and empathize with, but also just within society, there's a pretty unequal steep, right? And so for the role that men occupy, just in general in society, and the freedom that men are able to maneuver through society with, that to me is why feminism is so necessary, to open paths for women who might otherwise not be able to.
She didn't explain how the men are a threat. She just gave a word salad and said nothing at all about anything.
Recently in
give me an
Iran,
example?
I'll give you an example. Recently in Iran, there was a woman who was protesting because there was a strict dress code policy.
She had to go all the way to Iran to make a point. Book the ticket and everything. We're talking about women in North America, first world. How are you unsafe? And on top of that, how does the patriarchy, meaning men, make you guys more unsafe? Please explain. I would like to know.
And she walked through the streets in her protest within her underwear. It was a very brave, courageous act that is of true feminism. And what happened? She was disappeared. So if you look at the way that society treats women's bodies versus men's bodies, that inherent difference, it creates violence that threatens us at our core. And so by feeling as though we need to submit ourselves to men, to me that sounds like a defense mechanism. And
imagine tying your safety to that one story. So she's basically saying she's afraid of her safety in North America because of a story of something that happened in Iran, in their culture. Isn't that mental illness? That's gotta be mental illness.
what stands out when I'm listening to you all speak, and if you find empowerment through submitting to your husband, that's fine. But for me personally, my brand of feminism is that I think that if a woman finds empowerment through that, more power to her. But I think that the women who don't find that empowering should also have the ability or the agency to do as they please. That's just how I view it.
Yeah, can I circle back to something you said earlier? So a lot of this, oh, they're bigger than us. And it's true, men on average are far bigger than women. But I don't see how that goes into like how emotional someone is or how these leadership skills that they have.
That'd be on a
If
hormonal level.
No, but it's if that was the case, then why?
This girl knows the science and biology, but she's playing dumb. Like, you know, like she knows that women get periods and they're more emotional, this, that, and that. She knows the whole, but she's acting like it doesn't exist. I don't get it.
Did God create so many women that are excellent attorneys, excellent doctors? It's almost 50% of the field now that these women are killing business owners. Why did God give so many women? Because there's so much overlap when it doesn't come to physical strength between men and women on things like how agreeable they are, if they're able to have those leadership qualities. So many women were blessed with those.
Absolutely.
Why?
Women are brilliant.
Powerful.
And yeah, so women are excellent advisors and mothers and teachers and influencers, right? We know about that. Women are great influencers. They're the most powerful influencers. So I'm not in any way saying that women aren't capable. I'm just saying, should we go out and compete with men, or should we actually take our power and harness it and use it in other ways? And in fact, some of the anti-suffragettes held this belief. They were concerned that if women achieved suffrage, that their influence would be diluted because they would be forced to go out and compete like head to head. And they would kind of just lose that status as being admired as wise counsel in society. So
like these females that are like pediatric surgeons, like some of the top in the field, you don't think they're doing as much of a service as if they were just to stay home and nurture?
Well, I think they're putting themselves at a disadvantage too, because look at the wage gap. There does exist a wage gap, even if you have a really skilled like female surgeon and a male surgeon. And it's because biologically, like they can't push and push and push themselves in the same way that a man can. So like, no, this is true.
I disagree completely. I've seen women, not only do women usually meet expectations, they exceed them in a lot of situations. And I don't think that you can say, like, there are so many women who have just.
Could you please give an example and stop being so vague? Like, they don't ever give examples of about anything. They just say the women are so great at this, but what exactly is the this and that? Could you explain further, please?
Been so much far greater than their male counterparts and almost.
Like what? Like what exactly? What profession? What industry? Because from what I know, men dominate all fields that they're in. So I don't know exactly what she's talking about.
In what?
In a lot of situations.
In like.
In school,
school, in science, in all of these places where women are coming to the forefront and like doing their jobs and doing them well. They've not only exceeded, but they've had to work twice as hard. And
why do they have to work twice as hard?
Because of the patriarchy.
What a cop-out. Everything because of the patriarchy. What do you mean by patriarchy? Are you talking about a certain group of men, or are you talking about all men?
Twice as hard for them.
It's not twice as hard for them.
Our bodies, like we are built that we are constantly working. I'm working right now because my body is getting ready to ovulate, right? Whereas men don't work in that same way. Like my body is always working harder than a man's body. I will say that. We are working harder because our bodies are built to do something that a man could never do.
Do you believe that then the wife should lead the family?
No, I
think that I agree.
You see all this complaining, but you don't even want to lead. You see what I'm saying? They want to be known for being good leaders, but they don't want to lead. So you do not understand why men are suited to be leaders? Because we naturally want to be leaders? The math is not mathing with these people?
Agree with her that it's a partnership, that a man should never be thought of as the final decision, as that how he is suddenly able to lead and know everything.
But they can't even see how they're illogical, you know? Even just that one statement. They don't want the man to be just the automatic leader, but they don't want to lead. So it's like, what are you complaining about? It's very childish at this point. It's very childish.
Everything and know all, and then she is just here to, I don't know, serve and sit by.
It's like they don't want to help. They don't want to serve you. They don't like that word. That word serve. It's like they think it's slavery, automatic slavery. But if you're mature and you understand what that word means, it's not a bad thing. They need to just be reprogrammed from that. Different lens is needed.
People should be looked at as individuals and not based on their gender. So there could be areas of expertise that my partner is better equipped for, and there are areas of expertise I am better equipped for.
Right.
And to your earlier point, like it's like women didn't have advantages for so long, and now we're seeing this shift where like boys need our help, because as soon as you let women into education, we started surpassing them, and our wages have gone up.
Okay, so women do enroll into college and university more, but they tend to go with teaching, nursing, psychology majors compared to men that follow the whole science, technology, and math path, right? So her point about going to college more doesn't make you guys better leaders. Sorry.
Up and up and up.
Let women into education. Could you clarify that?
No, I'm saying as soon as we started pushing for like women to get into STEM, and we started doing this push to get women educated, we not only met the same standard that men were operating at, we exceeded it. And now women are outperforming men in almost all like exams.
I don't think people
That's cap, man.
should do anything. I think people can do anything. I don't think there should be any societal expectation on any person, man or...
You see, that's the problem I have with their form of leadership. There's no structure. She just said nobody should have any roles or any expectations in society. You can just do what you want. But that's not how the world works. There's expectations and there's roles for everybody. You know, everybody's got to play a part. Without any structure, without leadership, without defined roles, I just think there's total chaos and total mayhem. And that's why men should lead, because women don't want to. On to the next.
Manifest my own destiny. Sex, drugs, and rock and roll, the perfect recipe. May they remember me, my words will live on. I'm guided by an energy, a flame, hold it close to you. Check out my melody. Is it the media that's been leading you? I'll show you a thing. Misdirection, what's the message? They don't want you to win.